Namaste, hero.
Hi, are you nervous?
I am because the reality is going to be shown in front of everyone.
When you drink something hot, it leaches, you breathe it in. And what would a poison do in your body?
These days, a lot of people they misunderstand of detoxing with just juices.
Yeah, when people hear the word detox, they kind of think it means like just a general cleanse, which is not what it means.
Confuse themselves by symptoms and root cause.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about that? Namaste, hero.
Hi,
Hi, how are you today?
good, and you?
Good, amazing. You're the hero of this podcast.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Last time when I met you, you did toxin analysis, I must say. And that was quite interesting and fascinated by it. And I was like, this is crazy. I want to know more. And also, everyone should know more about it. So I'm really excited to have you here. Starting on from your journey. Wow, you have been in Saudi, Dubai, and where not. And also, you have been doing science, biology, physics. And how did you end up here?
So I actually came here 8 years ago from the UK as a teacher, a science teacher, specializing in biology. But the whole time that I was here, I was teaching health science. And I'm really interested in health because I was having health problems. And at that time, I didn't know why I was so unwell. So, I mean, the kinds of symptoms I was having were kind of vague, and doctors were just not able to help me. Like, they did all the standard testing, lab work. I've had MRIs and things like that as well. And everything looked normal, okay? But I didn't feel normal. I felt like I was literally dying because I had debilitating fatigue. Couldn't sleep at all. I was averaging like 2 hours a night for years. And everything was just going downhill. I was getting tremors, I had thyroid issues, hair loss, deficiencies, you name it, I had it. It's like a long list of symptoms. And when the doctors gave up on me, because, you know, in the end they started telling me that it's in my head because they couldn't work out what was wrong with me, right? So I just couldn't accept that because I knew it wasn't in my head. It was physical. I was feeling it. So I started searching, started researching. I went on Facebook groups. I started reading a lot. And it turned out that my root cause was heavy metal toxicity from my teeth fillings.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I had 7 of them from my childhood up to my 20s. And they are made up of mercury, which is one of the most toxic substances on earth. We put it in our mouths, next to our brain, and we're swallowing it every day.
Oh my God.
Vapors released every day. Like when you drink something hot, it leaches, you breathe it in. And what would a poison do in your body? It will mess everything up. So that's why I was just feeling so unwell. So then I had them removed and I did a detox, a heavy metal detox. I made a lot of mistakes along the way and made things worse for a while because some of the advice out there for heavy metal detoxing is actually incorrect and harmful. So then I found the right way and it literally, I have no doubt, it saved my life.
Oh, wow.
Detoxing saved my life for sure. Because I don't think if I didn't find out what my root cause was, I don't think I'd be here doing this now. You know, I completely turned my health around and not a single doctor helped me in that process.
Wow, that's a very, very inspiring story.
Yeah.
I think for very many people who want to take action in life, there needs to be a very big reason for why. So I think yours was, of course, to improve yourself.
Yeah.
Which is great. And you worked upon it. You researched and backed up with studies and you tried and tested other methods. So finally you came up with something great. So thank you to yourself, first of all, for being the best version of yourself. And what I also see these days, a lot of people, they misunderstand of detoxing with just juices.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about that?
Yeah, when people hear the word detox, they kind of think it means like just a general cleanse, which is not what it means. Detoxing, if someone asks me, how do I detox this? Well, it depends what you're trying to detox where did that toxin come from? How long has it been in your body? Because the detox method will vary depending on the answers to those questions. So for heavy metals, we have to use chelation therapy, but even that can vary depending on, did it come from teeth fillings or was it something else? Because not everyone has had mercury from teeth fillings. Mercury can come from seafood as well, or the environment. So depending on what the toxin is, where it is in the body, there are different methods of detoxing. And just doing a juice cleanse is not going to detox heavy metals. And some of the methods that are, mentioned by so many health coaches, they are just kind of surface level detoxing. They can help with kind of day-to-day exposures like pollution and plastic water that we're drinking every day. But to do a deep detox, the method is very different and specialized. And that's something that I, specialize in because I had to learn to do it for myself.
Exactly.
And I did all the other detoxes and they actually made me worse.
Oh my
My
God.
symptoms got worse because they can cause a lot of redistribution of toxins, stirring instead of removing.
Oh.
So now I know how to do it properly and safely. It has to be done safely as well, especially with something like mercury and other heavy metals, because if you start moving it in the body and it lands somewhere else, you're going to have another set of symptoms and sometimes worse symptoms.
Oh, it's crazy to be so patient and very systematic of how you do things. I really believe that.
It's really important.
Interesting. And what about some people usually confuse themselves by symptoms and root cause?
Yeah.
What do you want to say about that?
Yeah, because a lot of the times the symptoms that you're having are vague and you wouldn't connect, for example, brain fog to mold in your body. Mold is another really big root cause that is getting dismissed and people aren't even looking into, doctors are not even asking about that. If someone comes to them with brain fog, they're going to say, okay, maybe you just need some antidepressants or something, Or if someone is having insomnia, they probably won't connect that to their teeth fillings.
So is it because of lack of knowledge they are doing it, or?
It would be lack of knowledge because, and the thing is, the doctors don't know. That's the problem. The doctors have no idea. I went to my doctor and said, I have heavy metal toxicity. And they just looked at me like they didn't understand what I was saying.
Oh my God.
They don't know what that is, nor do they know how to treat it. I was lucky enough to find one doctor that understood that this is a concern. She admitted she didn't know how to help me with it, but she supported me on my journey.
Wow, that's great.
And she learned from me.
That's great.
Yeah.
Those are real true doctors, I believe.
And they're hard to find.
They're hard to find.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're studying for 5 years, to be frank.
It's not heavy metals, it's not mold, it's not even nutrition. Like they don't even study nutrition. They don't know about diet even,
Okay.
It's medicine. Doctors study medicine. That's what they specialize in, how to give you medicine. So if you have a symptom, this is the medicine for that.
Okay.
It's symptom management. It's a band-aid. It's never going to solve the root cause.
So what do you think for a 21-year boy or a girl, if they have such kind of symptoms, of course, not to go to a doctor, but do you have any other profession that they should go towards and ask more details about how they can solve all of this?
I would start with the bioresonance test, which is the health screening that I do.
Okay.
It's a really good starting point when you're having these random symptoms and you don't know what's going on and you've been to doctors, you've done the conventional lab tests and still no answers. Do a bioresonance test because it's the ultimate root cause health screen. So it's going to check your toxin levels. It's going to see if you have mold, if you have pathogens, if you have parasites, if you have a viral load, if you have gut dysbiosis or leaky gut. These are the root causes of almost all chronic illness today. And they are not being investigated. And this is why people don't get better. They don't get better. And conventional medicine is failing people.
So true. So true. What do you think are the reasons for anxiety, stress, and hormonal disbalance? Is it again this toxicity metals?
Definitely toxicity plays a role.
Okay.
Stress is a root cause by itself.
Okay.
Everyone is really stressed now.
Yeah.
Work-life balance is not there. too many responsibilities, money. Of course, stress will wreck everything too, and that's something that needs to be dealt with. But when you add toxins to it, it's going to make it worse, right? So toxins have the ability to disrupt all systems in the body, and they can directly cause and contribute to all kinds of symptoms because it's poisoning of the body.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have poison in your body, everything will be wrecked, right? So it's a combination of factors. Hormones can be affected by toxins as well as mold, because these toxins, they get into the glands that produce the hormones. That's one thing, and they also disrupt the function of the hormones in the body.
Oh, wow.
And some toxins can act like hormones in the body. So we have a lot of people with estrogen dominance now. Men too, not just women.
What does that exactly mean?
And that comes from environmental estrogen mimicking chemicals. So I'm talking about perfumes, detergents, cosmetics, shampoo, anything with a fragrance, burning candles, bukhur as well, and plastics. Let's not forget Teflon pans.
Okay.
Non-stick pans, they also leach chemicals that once they get into the body, they are similar in structure to estrogen. So it's like having excess estrogen, and that can lead to so many different symptoms.
What do you think about the oil that people use? Oil in terms of the spray instead of sprays. Is it good?
Natural?
Yeah.
Natural oils are fine. Excellent. Essential oils. If we want to change our perfumes, we should look for essential oil blends.
Not the oud. Do you know about the ones?
Depends what the ingredients are.
Yeah.
If it's 100% natural, then it's good. I don't believe in burning anything though. Even if it's not. People say to me, oh, what about a natural candle? The point is, if you burn anything, there's going to be some chemicals produced in that process of combustion that is still harmful.
Which brings on me to your lifestyle, because the way you are getting into things, I can't imagine what your lifestyle is and what are some patterns that are very, very important to you. Can you highlight that?
Yeah, so
The secret ones.
I eat as clean as possible. In terms of, let's say, meat, it should be grass-fed. Eggs should be pastured organic. So I try and avoid all kinds of food additives, E-numbers, dyes, things like that. I have kids as well, so it's really important for me to have clean ingredients at home. So that's one thing. The other thing is getting sun. Sun is so fundamental to health. So first thing in the morning, as soon as I wake up, I try and get some sun on my face, on my eyes, and then I try to do the same around sunset. Because all the different rays, the spectrum from the sun, they all signal to the brain what time of day it is. Yeah. So it sets our body clock and a hormone production. And then the other thing is earthing.
Oh, wow.
Earthing is so important too.
Yeah.
And it's something that really helped me get through my chronic illness. I would feel so much better because I was so inflamed. So I was earthing every day and getting sun every day. And then sweating.
Okay.
Sweating is a free detox. We have a free sauna outside in this country right now. Make the most of it. Sweat as much as you can. Make sure you're taking electrolytes for hydration, drinking clean water, avoiding plastic water. So I don't have any plastic water bottles in my home. I have a reverse osmosis, remineralized filtration system, which just goes under the kitchen sink. And they put a separate tap in, so you drink straight from the tap. You pour it into glass, stainless steel, and take it with you. No plastic.
Perfect.
Because plastic is now one of the biggest problems that we have, that we are consuming. We don't really know how to detox it from the body because it's a new problem.
New problem.
Yeah. So that's going to be causing a lot of health problems coming soon.
Oh, yes. For the next decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some of the things. And what about the food? What kind of food
do I eat?
Do you necessarily make sure that includes in your diet? These are the 3 essential foods that I need in my body.
Protein.
Okay.
I need protein with every meal.
Okay.
I need fats with every meal, animal-based fats. I mostly use ghee, sometimes tallow to cook with. No vegetable oils at all, apart from some olive oil for salads.
Yeah, makes sense.
It should be used cold, because if you cook it, it goes bad.
Yeah.
And then protein with every meal, non-negotiable, very important, especially as we get older. We want to build muscle mass. We want to maintain muscle mass.
Yeah.
Very important for longevity. So that's the most important thing. I'm more animal-based because I feel that works better for my body. I don't believe in one diet for everyone.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Exactly.
Because everyone's ability to digest is slightly different depending on their genes.
Yeah.
And our microbiome, that also affects how we digest. So, for example, before, when I had small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, a lot of people have this, they don't know. It causes bloating and some other symptoms, food intolerances. I couldn't eat a lot of vegetables because the bacteria in my small intestine would ferment those vegetables and produce gas. So it was uncomfortable for me. Until I solved that, then I could start eating vegetables again.
Yeah.
Right? So diet really depends on your needs, which stage in your life you are, what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to gain weight? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to build muscle? Everyone should be trying to build muscle. Do you have SIBO? Do you have parasites? I don't believe gluten should be in anyone's diet. That's one thing that I say doesn't belong in the human diet. We only have it because of farming, which is an invention, right? If you want to eat like a human, you have to think back before farming. What did humans eat?
Each other.
That's it's still going on in some places.
Oh, yeah.
We won't talk about that. So before farming, we would not be able to grow enough grain to make our own bread.
Yeah.
So we are way over consuming gluten. Does not belong in the diet.
At all.
Yeah, and it's damaging. So that's something that I don't have.
Okay, great. And then coming to bioresonance, what is this? This is a frequency, right?
So it works through measuring the frequencies of the organs. It takes that data and looks for deviations from the norm. So that's what's important. Those patterns of change from the norm are really specific to the cause. So for example, if you've had a toxin in your body for a year or 2 years, it's going to change your frequencies in a really particular pattern. So once it sees that, then it matches it to the toxin. Same thing for pathogens or hormonal changes or leaky gut or stress. All of these things can be picked up. Even insulin resistance is picked up.
It's crazy to me because you're not taking any blood and it is not any injection of anything. So I'm always wondering, like, can it be so accurate? How is it like?
It's the interpretation that makes it accurate. So if you did it with, just say you did it yourself, you have no knowledge on how to understand the results. They are not supposed to be read literally.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really experienced in understanding the results, and I ask a whole bunch of questions during the consultation, like, did you have teeth fillings? Did you have the COVID vaccine? Did you live in mold? I'm asking a lot of questions that doctors don't ask. Are you using fluoride? Are you swimming in chlorine? Are you driving an electric car? Okay, things that no one will think of. I have all of these questions, then medical history, their symptoms, and their lab test results. I take all of that and combine it with the bioresonance. Bioresonance is not to be used in isolation, it's a tool. So I put all of that together and then I can connect the dots.
Makes sense.
But if you don't have the knowledge, you won't be able to connect the dots. So I'm looking for patterns. Okay, this person has a high pathogenic load. There's a lot of fungus and mold. This person definitely has a mold problem.
Okay.
Very common. Because of all the ACs, we're breathing in mold from everywhere. So it's really important to make sure that your home is mold-free. That's step one, before you can even detox it. Otherwise, it's just going to come back, right? And then what else am I looking for? I'm looking at gut function. Okay, this person has bacterial overgrowth. That's why they have the bloating, right? That's why they can't tolerate lactose, all right? So I'm asking them, do you have any food sensitivities? Well, now we know why. Because of that bacteria in your small intestine or that parasites, yeah? So it's about connecting the dots. And when I connect the dots, it's highly accurate. And people's minds are always blown when I do the test.
Well, that's crazy. Let's blow up people's mind and get onto that. Really excited for this. And we're going to show people live about what is this really machine and that you told the in and out about everything. So let's get into it.
Yep. Let's
Perfect.
go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the test itself only takes 5 minutes. It's just frequency reading, so it's quick, non-invasive, it's safe for everybody. I just don't test pregnant women because the results will not be as accurate. I've even tested babies with it, children. I actually have a lot of children coming for tests because their parents want to know why they have eczema or why they have gut issues, why they're allergic to everything. And often we find vaccine reactions and microbiome, gut dysbiosis, so problems with their gut. But also, a lot of children have had mold exposure. So we find mold in their bodies. So then I teach them how to cleanse that. Just have to get to your ankles. Your results. Moment of truth.
Oh my God. So
Are you nervous?
I am, because the reality is going to be shown in front of everyone.
Okay.
Well, it was just 5 minutes of this, and you get to know so much about your body, which is so interesting. And let's hear from the expert.
Your chakras are perfect. They were perfect last time as well.
Okay, my chakras are great.
Yeah, your chakras are good. Your energy level is really good. It's above average. Well done.
Thank you. Wow.
Let's look at the pathogens. This is really important.
No, I thought it was just chakras.
There's so much more. Okay, so you do have a little bit of mold in your breathing system and some fungal overgrowth in your small intestine. Okay, but this is less than what I see in most people, and your previous test had more. So you've improved, and maybe the fasting has helped to kill some of that.
Okay.
And the seeds that you were taking. So it's better, but we still have some work to do. So
Okay, so two things. It's the
fungus and mold.
fungus and mold.
So we would have to use some antifungals to clear it out. But we can do it naturally, because this is a low level.
Okay, naturally
We can use things like oregano oil, grapefruit seed extract.
Ghee?
Ghee, not ghee.
No.
We have to use things that actually kill mold in your body.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do that. It'll probably take a couple of months at most.
Okay.
In your bacterial load, there is some gut dysbiosis, so an imbalance in your gut bacteria. It's not too high. I don't know if you experience any bloating or food sensitivities, but if you do, it's probably because of this. You would want to rebalance your gut bacteria at some point. We can do that. The antifungals, some of the ingredients that we use there, will also help to kill off any bad bacterial overgrowth in your small intestine. So they'll multitask. Okay, so that will help. And then we'll have to add some probiotics. Okay. Next thing, a few parasites, but less than last time.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
So we probably need to use a specific parasite cleanse. There's one called Parasite Guardian, which is amazing. It's got a nice blend of ingredients, plus enzymes to break open the biofilm, which is what pathogens produce to hide inside of, right? So like a protective film. So we have to break that open with enzymes. So it's got a really nice blend of ingredients, that parasite cleanse. So I'll recommend that for you, and I'll tell you how to take it.
Amazing. And this is like a medicine, or it's
it's all natural.
So it's
herbal.
Foods.
It's herbal. Yeah.
Okay, herbal
Yeah.
ingredients basically.
Yes, in
Makes
a capsule.
sense. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the way we're going to do it. And of course, during that time, it's best not to have any sugar.
Yeah, I don't like sugar. I don't
Because
eat.
then you don't want to feed them as well. You want to starve them at the same
them.
time. All right, let's see what else. So overall, your results have improved, which is good, really good.
Wow.
Okay, so we just need to add a couple of supplements to do the rest. Supplements is, unfortunately, it's a fact of life these days because our food isn't nutritious enough anymore from over farming. The soils are depleted. Okay, and then we're dealing with toxin exposures every day, which we need support against.
Okay.
So we should be taking antioxidants, because those toxins are, causing all sorts of havoc, inflammation around the body, oxidative stress. So we need support against that on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
So I recommend that we should be taking at least vitamin C, magnesium every day.
Every day. Okay.
And from time to time, zinc, B complex, omega-3.
Biotin.
B complex will have the biotin in there. So those are really helpful as the kind of core supplements. And then we build on that depending on each person's personal requirement. So you do have a high level of heavy metals. Okay, so we would have to look into where they came from, and then we would put you on some chelation therapy to remove that from your system.
And how does this therapy look like? Just to get an idea.
So for a high level of heavy metals, I recommend something called OSR.
OSR.
Yeah, it stands for oxidative stress relief. And it's a chelating compound. So it's a compound that actually permanently binds to mercury and other heavy metals in the body, and it can access into the cells as well as into the brain, because we want to get the metals out of the brain. They're often stored in the brain.
Oh.
The brain has a high affinity for heavy metals. It's like a sponge for toxins.
Oh, crazy.
Right? So once it gets into the brain, that's when people start getting neurological symptoms like brain fog, memory loss, insomnia.
Focus hard.
And then ADHD and anxiety, and then things like tremors and things that are looking like autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis. Once the toxins are in the nervous system, it can lead to things like multiple sclerosis. There are people who have reversed MS through detoxing heavy metals.
Oh, crazy.
And mold.
Wow.
And I was having the beginning signs of multiple sclerosis years ago when I was living in a moldy home.
Oh.
When I left that home, disappeared.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Like the root causes are not being looked into. So if someone presents with multiple sclerosis symptoms to the doctor and they do the MRI and it shows positive, they will be put on meds for life and told that we don't know the cause and you can't do anything about it and it's going to get worse for the rest of your life. You're going to end up disabled at some point, maybe. And then people are detoxing themselves and reversing it.
Oh, crazy.
So why aren't doctors looking into these causes? Drives me mad.
Guys, contact her. Read her ebooks. Contact, I think this is really making so much sense.
Yeah. A few amino acid deficiencies, so we need to get more protein into you.
More protein as well.
Yeah, we need more protein. Those are the most important points.
Okay.
We need to detox heavy metals. We need to do antifungals, antimicrobials, parasite cleanse, get more protein. And then I think that's probably like a year's worth of work for you.
Oh, wow.
But what's a year in terms of the rest of your life? That's optimization for a whole year. You're going to be a better version at the end of that year. And you will see and feel the progress.
Oh, wow. That's so amazing. I think a lot of people right now, they're watching and they must be like wowed by the factor of how many things they don't know in their life. Like, especially me, I didn't know any of this. And once you come to know, the second step is, of course, action with you, right?
Yeah.
And going in a systematic way.
Yeah.
I think that will really help. Otherwise, it's just an information.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just kind of guessing what to do. And then you make mistakes, I did before,
Mm-hmm.
You make things worse. So people like to work with me because I write down exactly what they need to do, step by step, for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And they have my support for 3 months. We'll get on Zoom, have a call every month. They have me on WhatsApp for any questions. So I'm basically holding their hand throughout the process,
Mm-hmm.
And then we retest, say, in 6 months, and we see the progress. And so many things have changed and improved. I've seen biological age improve as well. Yours is the same at the moment. It's not older or younger.
No younger. Oh my God.
We're gonna work on that. We need to get rid of the toxins. That's what it is. We'll make you younger next time, right?
Okay.
So when we retest in, say, 6 months, we're gonna see your biological age improve.
Okay. Perfect.
Hopefully.
Sounds amazing. Great. And can you explain about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're telling it is because of electrons or what?
So what happens is it sends like a weak electrical impulse into your body and then sees how your body responds to that and then captures that data.
Okay.
So it takes the frequencies of all your organs, compares it to the norm, looks for deviations from the norm and sees what caused that deviation from the norm. It matches it to the toxins, to the pathogens. Sometimes it's stress. It will show me like a cortisol imbalance because of stress. Sometimes it's metabolic disorder. It will show that this person probably has some insulin resistance because of a poor diet, So that's the way the technology works. It's quantum biology.
Wow.
Yeah, it's another realm of science.
And that is the way you heal yourself, basically.
Yeah.
And so what's your tip to people who want to heal themselves?
Find the root causes. Oh my God, that's fundamental. You cannot heal until you know what caused it.
Exactly.
Right? Most important step. Then you have to have a protocol in place.
Protocol in place.
And it has to be specialized and personalized for your needs.
What do you think is the current two biggest mistakes of people's lifestyle that is making this happen?
Too many toxin exposures, okay? People aren't protecting themselves from toxins. And then diet. Diet is wrong. Most people are not eating for their needs, or they're eating junk.
Or they're
Or it's
eating too
full-
much.
Or they're eating too much, or it's too carb heavy and not enough protein, or there's seed oils, vegetable oils,
my
which are
God.
so inflammatory. Yeah, it's food and it's toxin exposures. It's probably the top two. But there's so much more.
So much more.
So much more.
What do you want to give like this two tips to youngsters like 21-year-old boy or a girl? What would you like to tell them starting from today they should be looking at?
So start reading ingredient lists. Everybody should be doing this. Oh my God. If you just read ingredient lists, you would put that thing back down in the shop and not buy it. I feel sorry for the children these days because they are eating so much crap
So true.
because they're not looking at ingredient lists, or the parents aren't looking at ingredient lists.
Exactly.
That's one thing. The other thing, oh gosh, right now I think screen time for children.
Oh my
Screen
God.
time is another problem itself. And this is why kids have no attention span. They are low in dopamine because they get dopamine from screen time.
Yeah.
And they cannot, I see children unable to function as human beings if you take their screen away. Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God. It's crazy.
All hell breaks loose. I've seen children like that.
Yeah.
That's a root cause these
That's-
days for children.
So true.
And then they have these laptops and iPads on their laps without any EMF protection.
Oh.
What's going to happen to like the reproductive organs? You know, there should be protection on there.
Or
Yeah.
EMF devices.
Yeah, exactly. So for my children, my boy, he's got EMF protection on his iPad, and then for the laptop, we have this board which is I can't remember, Defender Shield it's called, I believe. I got it from Switch Up Life, which is a company based here in the UAE. They do EMF protection and some other really cool biohacking gadgets.
Wow.
Yeah, you can use Origin for a discount there.
Yeah.
So that's what we use at home for screen time, because that's something people are not considering. We don't know what that exposure is doing to us.
Exactly.
It's still relatively new. 6G is coming soon.
Oh yes. Oh yes. It's gonna be faster.
What's it gonna do? It's gonna fry our brains.
Crazy. What about the parents of today? What do you want to tell them?
Take care of your kids. They are the most important thing that you have.
Yeah.
And you have to protect them from all these things, from these toxin exposures. You have to be aware. You have to clean up your home environment. You have to have rules on screen time. There's got to be limits. You have to protect your children from all these things that are disrupting health, because children are sicker than ever before now. There's so many children with chronic illness, things like autoimmunity, diseases like even cancers are increasing in children, ADHD, anxiety in children, depression in children, mental health issues.
Oh yes.
It's way more than ever before. And then there's things like allergies and asthma and eczema. So, and it's all coming from toxin exposures, and parents need to be aware of that to be able to protect their children from chronic illness in the future.
Mm-hmm. What are the two best tips for anyone who's watching right now? They need to include in their food. It can be food or any lifestyle habit.
Exercise. We need to move our bodies depending on how much you can do, because everyone is different, right?
Yeah.
When, for example, when I was really unwell with insomnia and chronic fatigue, I couldn't move much except walking. Do what you can, because exercise really is fundamental to all aspects of health, okay? And build on it. And then look at your, like I said, food, make sure it's clean, get protein. Prioritize protein, okay? Not carbs. People are over-consuming carbs.
Biryani. Once in a while is okay.
Once in a while, in moderation. What you want to aim for is 80% of the time you're eating good. And then the other 20%, you can treat yourself, and your body, because it's healthy, will be able to handle a little bit of naughtiness. But you got to put yourself in the right frame for us to be able to deal with that 20%.
20%.
You know,
Yeah.
if you haven't healed your body, or if you're not detoxing regularly, then your body will not be able to handle cheat meals, or too much sugar, or numbers and additives. It's just going to be another burden on the body and the liver to
Exactly.
detox.
Wow, that's been amazing. And thank you so much for your wisdom and your setup and your results. I think it's eye opening for me and everyone.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to do something of this, that will, of course, tell about your life A to Z and open up your story to help yourself. She's the right person. I've put her handle over there. So yes, contact her, and even you have your ebooks. I think it's very reasonable to understand what it is, how it is, the basic things that you need.
Yeah.
So of course, go read her ebooks. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much.